So this right here is the biggest piece of information, bar none, not even close. This changes every single sicko and how they play the game. What is up, everybody? It is Jake back with the MF Film Room. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be updated on all things EA College Football, hit that red subscribe button. Do it. I'm telling you right now, we are getting close to 400. I hope we get to 500 eventually. Again, this channel is going to blow up. Please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button too, and follow me on Twitter/X. That fam is growing. If you like college football content, go over to my other channel in the description, Master Football with Jake Posey. But enough about all that stuff. EA College Football content, let's go. All right, guys, so we have been a little shy on some EA College Football content. I've been streaming my games right now, my Dynasty. I literally have my Xbox 360 right there, okay? I'm still doing the thing. But up until that point, we don't really have much to talk about. That changed just yesterday. Today, for me, we're going to get going through it because there's a lot of little reveals here. There's some small things they said, and there's some big things we have to pull from what they were talking about here because I'm telling you, I can find a mountain out of a molehill, and I did it with this whole situation. Let's go. All right, here we are on Matt Brown's Twitter page, and he basically said that, hey, new point, extra points. Here's what I'm hearing about the tentative release for the EA Sports College Football 25, what the company hopes to share in a few weeks, and other updates like stuff about recruiting, bowls, and more. I'm telling you, Matt Brown is and always has been. He's been the number one source of information for these guys. My boy Tubi Light, he actually is out there. He's another smaller YouTuber there. He's bigger than me, but he's had a couple releases. He was the one I think that broke or leaked or whatever it was leaked to him. He broke the story about the national championship, video where it was filmed in the Rose Bowl and so on. But again, Matt Brown has been our number one source of information, and I want to just make a quick aside before we get into the content here because I need to address something. So I need to address this crap right here, okay? This person commented on my video recently, a while ago, and he says, hey, we don't need Matt Brown anymore. The game is coming out. First of all, I'm going to let whoever this guy knows is that there is no we. I'm not a part of a we from you. Okay, Matt Brown has been the best, the top, not even close, source of information on this game, bar none, hands down, not even a question. And going forward, any aspect of the business side is going to be available on his Extra Points mailbag. So again, despite the fact that people think, oh no, because we're just going to directly to the devs. Trust me, he's talking to the devs anyway. He's got better relationships than almost all of you out there. So again, I want a little appreciation from my boy Matt Brown. Okay, I just want to make sure that this comment gets flushed down the toilet where it needs to go. All right, now that aside is done, I wanted to get into here because, again, the Gaming Tailgate, who also does a fantastic job. Like I said, Tubi Light does a really good job out there. The Gaming Tailgate does a really good job with this, too. They were talking about how, again, there's a couple of these posters that are going up around here. EA Sports College Football 25 posters have started to appear on campuses around the country, including Florida, Michigan, and Notre Dame. And you can see this here when you actually click on this. You can see the quarterback DJ Legway. You've got a couple of the players who are going to be in this game. We've got the college football and so on. When you go over here to Michigan, okay, Alex Orgy, the quarterback. We've got Kenneth Grant. My boy, love me some Kenneth Grant. And we come over here to Notre Dame. Same situation here. In addition to this, we also have information about Florida State. Boy Clay Fink, he says, check out these new EA College Football promo posters on the FSU campus. And boom, you can see this right here. They got all this stuff. We've got, it's a little far away there, but I'd say DJ Lundy is the running back, it looks like. Quarterback, I don't really know. I can't really read what that is, but I do know enough to know that this is important. Welcome to Doak. Man, look at all this stuff, man. Look at this. It's coming out. Oh, I could have just done this the whole time. DJ Lundy, linebacker. Excuse me, DJ. I want to apologize. Thank you, man. But anyways, the reports right here are coming out. It's coming in fast and hard. And I wanted to make sure I include this. I'm going to include the link here to this. Go subscribe to his Extra Points blog. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be the first to know about all the insider stuff. And you're going to know very official things because people inside EA talk directly to him. And I know people say, oh, I got a hidden source. Unhidden sources, okay? He's hiding the sources for you, okay? We know Matt Brown knows all this stuff. However, I'm not going to share this whole article. I'm going to read through part of it here so you can kind of see through what it was. I want to summarize some of it, and then we're going to go through my analysis of it because the analysis is going to be pretty interesting. All right, so reading through this article here, and it says, the most importantly of the headlines that's got, it says, so when is this thing actually supposed to come out? And he comes over here and he says that, however, after speaking to multiple people with knowledge of the project at the company, I can report that and very, very italicized here, tentative target date shared internally is in fact July 19th. It's going to be a Friday. I want to say the third Friday of July. Additionally, the tentative target date for the May reveal, I'm told, is May 16th, which is a Thursday. I'm sure some He goes on to say, I'm sure some clout-seeking social media aggregator, again, I might actually be on there, is going to strip away this context, but let me be very clear about this. These are not completely official dates. And again, they just don't know the answer to that information there. Basically, what he says is, nobody should freak out if there's no press release on May 5th or something. So everybody understand, tentative dates, tentative, could get pushed, could be moved up, we don't know. He says, what sort of things should fans expect in May? And he says, answer questions like, is online Dynasty? What positions will be able to play in Road to Glory? Will this be very brand specific of helmet, wrist tape, glove, sock be in the game? He says, straight up, I don't know. He says, I can file an open records request or call somebody at a shoe company or a bowl sponsor to get an idea about what sorts of assets or IP was submitted to the game, and that information can be used to barter with other updates within the company. But if there's information out there that EA really wants to release themselves, and if the only people who would know are EA employees, there's not a lot I can do if they don't want to talk to me. Again, we don't know what's going to be revealed in May. The full reveal is tentatively set for May 16th. So a big factor here, and I want to make sure that we talk about this because the third line in here of these things is one of the most important things that could be tectonically shaping how this game is going to be played. I'm telling you right, this is one of the biggest lines. It's going to shake, especially the sickos. It's going to change how we play the game potentially forever. So it says here that I've been told that the bulk of the game is pretty much done at this stage, beyond adding in player likeness and finalizing audio assets. Team members are working on fine-tuning gameplay elements, fixing bugs, and making final tweaks, and threading the difficult balance between realism and, fun. The second point you want to talk about here is the transfer portal, because within the transfer portal, this game, and this is a little crazy here, the game was originally designed, so if you remember NCAA Football 2014, I have it right now, players can transfer. They only transfer once, and the game, when it was being made, was designed where somebody would only transfer once. However, we saw the fact that with those new rules, players can transfer an infinite number of times. They had to make sure they went back and tweak the code in this last mid-December when that policy came through, because they want realism. Somebody could be just, again, you want to be a JT Daniels situation, play a zillion different places. That can happen in the game. Is it going to happen every time? Probably not, but it can happen. It also says here that, again, to be as realistic as possible, athletes would need to be able to transfer more than once, but if roster management in a video game looked exactly like it did in real-life college football, it would be too overwhelming to be fun for the majority of players. Like I said, I'm a sicko. I'm ready for it. Okay, I want that stuff. But again, for some people, I don't know if it's going to be a thing that you can turn up or turn down. That is clearly speculation on my part. But for what it understands here is, in the same way that injuries in Madden, so you can adjust injuries up and down in Madden, because in real life, injuries in Madden, like 3 or 4 people get injured per game throughout the season. There's people they'll have 10 guys on the injury report, but that's not necessarily fun because you didn't play the game to have a 3rd string quarterback or a 7th string wide receiver. You don't necessarily want that. The same thing could be happening to the transfer portal. However, that manages to make more a balance between realism and fun. We'll find out when the game comes out, or when the reveal comes out, potentially in May, and more intricately when the game comes out in July. All right, so this right here is the biggest piece of information, bar none, not even close. This changes every single sicko and how they play the game, if it works the way I think it's going to work. Let's get into it. It says here, another example is the game's logic and internal algorithms in simulating future seasons. After all, a dynasty might go 10, 20, 30 years into the future. Fans who spend a long time with NCAA 2014 might recall for whatever reason, Service Academy teams had a strange habit of becoming dynasty programs after several years of simulations, even though that probably wouldn't happen in real life. So developers need to spend time to make sure that the myriad of decisions a player might make while controlling their team don't accidentally break other game systems years down the line. I'm told the team has spent time trying to make sure that future football schedules are as accurate as possible years into the future, even with super conferences, with the tweaks that happen as players customize their own schedule. Developers have to make sure, after all, that replacing FAU with Alabama in your out-of-conference schedule in 2027 doesn't somehow break the AAC's conference schedule algorithm. Oh boy, let's get into that stuff. So we have here the reveal date and release date. We want to make sure we go over these themes. The reveal date, it is tentatively. Anybody that tells you this, okay, it's tentatively set for Thursday, May 16th. That is expected to be a full reveal. Game modes, potentially rosters, features, etc. Again, Matt does not know what's going to be in there, but when they say a full reveal, I assume they mean full reveal. We'll see exactly what they mean closer to that date. There might be some leaks here and there, but I suspect if you don't hear anything by May 15th, Don't worry. If you don't hear anything by May 16th, unless they tell you not to worry about it, then worry about it, okay? These dates are not set in stone. Anybody telling you they know for sure is lying. I'm telling you right now because the people at EA, either they know and they won't tell or they don't know themselves. So like I said, right now, tentatively reveal set for Thursday, May 16th. The release date, this gets a little interesting here. It is tentatively set for Friday, July 19th. It was previously theorized that it would be on July 12th, which is the Friday before that. There's no indication of an early release yet. However, and again, in this report, they didn't have an early release indication. Think about this. Madden 24, EA, Madden, EA College Football. Madden was released on Friday, August 18th, 2023, with early access being Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. Using similar logic, this would mean early access could, and again, I say could here, early access could be Tuesday, July 16th. We could be playing EA College Football the first time in over a decade, July 16th, that Tuesday. Nobody bother me on Tuesday. I've got stuff to do. I'm requesting off that the 16th or the 17th, 18th, and 19th from work. I'm just going to say it right now. All right, this is important here. Like I said, the third item there, that program building, we're going to talk about that. So development says bulk of the game is pretty much done. The last items include likeness and finalizing audio assets. So the likeness will probably happen throughout the year, again, because certain players move here and there. But again, what they're going to try and do is probably get a shell of what somebody looks like. And then if they leave, they don't drastically change their hair or their height or their weight or something like that. It's probably going to stay the same. Again, it says fixing bugs and making tweaks. Those are continuous changes. So if anybody knows anything about video games, what's going to happen here is that, throughout the year, they're going to, adjust logic here, adjust logic there, make sure this play's got a bug on it, that play's got a bug on it, whatever it is, that's going to happen throughout the year. So we're probably going to get those. Like I said, I suspect multiple updates will happen throughout the years, just to make sure that, any sort of trick here and there gets addressed. So again, that's what they probably mean by fixing bugs and making tweaks. That's continuous, whereas the finalizing audio assets, that's just sharpening of something. And then once it's done, they're probably going to let it be. The transfer portal is interesting here. The game was originally designed for players to only really transfer once. They will allow multiple transfers, but are searching for roster management to be more fun. Think about this. There were roughly about 2,000 FBS players that enter the transfer portal in 2023 and 2024. That doesn't include this upcoming window that we're about to have here post spring ball. There was 128 FBS schools. It was an average of 15 players per team entering the portal. So that's the average. Now, again, they said there that the game was going to address that in terms of making sure that, it's still fun because 15 players. So think about that, 85-man rosters, unless we have walk-ons there, 85-man rosters. And then you'll think about that, that would be 15. So that's like, what is that? 1/6 of this, of the roster, something like that. That's a lot. And then that's not even including the people who graduate. So that's a lot of roster management. Is it going to be 10? Is it going to be 5? I don't really know, but I do know that the transfer portal is going to be a continuous part of the game. Next up here, the biggest point here, again, all my sickos, drop what you're doing and listen up. Games, logic, and internal algorithms in simulating future seasons. They wanted to make sure they could address that to prevent, a team who's in the Sun Belt from becoming a national power. As an example, we've got NCAA Football 2014 here. If I move any Power 5 team into the Sun Belt, they just go to national championships every single year. There's nothing that really, even if they're not necessarily a national championship team, you put Kansas down and they drastically just trounce everybody. So what happens here is also with that is the service academies, Army, Navy, Air Force, who are just limited by size. I think that you can only be like 260 pounds in the Air Force, so you can't really get big offensive linemen. So with some of those limitations, again, they have to run the triple option. They have to do certain things like that to address, that lack of athleticism. But they should not be out here being, continuous national powers ranked every single year, top 10 teams. They usually aren't. They might be a ranked team every once in a while, but for the most part, they're not going to do that. If that's true, that says that it will make the program building, or what most sickos do, harder. I said, will this make program building what most sickos do harder? So think about that right there. That is huge because everybody does the same thing. Everybody who's a normie, they play with their favorite team. They play with Alabama or they play with Auburn or something like that. Maybe not Auburn, probably Ohio State. And they just trounce everybody and they have so much fun. Oh my God, my quarterback had 5,000 rushing yards. Oh my God, so entertaining. Again, so that is kind of lame. So with that, what you want to make sure of is, again, if you're taking over Akron, are you going to be signing 5-star receivers? If they're trying to make it so the program building, or at least the game's internal, algorithms and game logic in terms of what you can do to turn around a program Is it going to make program building harder? If it does, this game changes exponentially. As an example, right now, it's so hard because you can typically, if you get pretty good at the game, you can turn on a program within 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 years if it goes a little long. But if it's going to take you multiple years to really build up and really develop these teams, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm telling you, that right there could be one of the biggest aspects of making this game so much more replayable than NCAA 14 is as of right now. And one quick edit here, I actually was able to look up, it was 133 schools, so I apologize. But again, that's more than 12 or 13 players per year. That's a lot of players. Some teams it's 20, some teams it's 5. But again, 133 schools, 2,000 players. It's a lot of people transferring per year. So that's the report that we got right now. Tentatively, and anybody who tells you anything more assertive than tentatively is lying through their teeth. Tentatively, full reveal Thursday, May 16th, and the game is going to be released Friday, July 19th. Again, if you think about that, using what the Madden logic was, Madden was released on a Friday. The game came out that Tuesday on early release for this game. So if you think about that right there, the 19th, that means that we could potentially have the game early release, potentially have the game Tuesday, July 16th. We could be playing EA College Football. Can you taste it? I can. All right, guys, what do you think about all of that information? And again, the game's coming out. What are my sickos thinking about the whole roster building thing? What do you think about the transfer portal? You guys get in the comments right now and let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.